Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tall Short Take. My name is Dylan, and this is Riley, and we are going to get into episode one. 1 week of baseball has been played. You got anything you want to lead us off with?
Eh, Still just holding strong. The Central runs through Cleveland.
Central runs through Cleveland.
Despite all that we've seen so far, it still runs through Cleveland.
Alright, so before we get started on anything, I wanted to see, has there been anything that you've been getting into with baseball outside of just watching Guardians games? Private
Uh,
games?
I do coach my JV team of my alma mater, actually.
Anything coming up with that?
I mean, we just played 2 games so far out of our, I think, 25 game season. So 1-1 right now. A lot of promise. So
I mean, I I went to Columbus opening day, Columbus Clippers. Dime a dog night, which we're gonna hit every single one of those if we can. Every Tuesday, but or every other Tuesday roughly. Dime a dog night. We're getting you down for one of those. Sure. Did not look
that'd be
great.
great.
I'll be honest. It might be a prelude for later in this episode, but the offense could not buy a run. 5 hits total in the game. The pitcher on the other team, it was a Twins minor league team. They're St. Paul. No idea who he is. He's not even a top prospect. Nothing like that. Absolutely destroyed us for like 5 innings straight. But I had 10 hot
Hey,
dogs, so can't
it
go wrong
balances
there.
out.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there. Next time we're going for 9 hot dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings, and a win,
That's
and a
definitely
win. That's what
the
we're doing
win.
that.
The win's just the cherry right on top.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Anyway, I say we get into it with our first week coming up. We would talk about some of the stuff that happened over this off season. Something big that happened. We traded away 2 key players in that lineup of ours, which I don't want to get too much into what happened this week, but it might be preluding to what's to come this season. Josh Naylor and Andres Jimenez both left. Obviously, money issues. Josh Naylor on the last year of his contract. Jimenez was underperforming his value on the later end of the contract. I'm not sure if you've looked at that. It'd be like a $20 million AAV at the end of it. But regardless, at second base now, we have a massive hole. Josh Naylor going away. We signed Carlos Santana for roughly the same amount they were going to make regardless. Kyle Manzardo's there. Talk about him later, the mustache. But second base, we got Daniel Schneemann, Arias.
I guess I think it comes down in Cleveland. Like you lose Jimenez. I mean, platinum glove winner. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't beat his defense. There's not a better defensive second baseman in the game. Obviously, I'm Cleveland bias, but look at the numbers. It's there. But offensively, he wasn't. I don't know. He never really had he'd have good stretches. He'd have good weeks. He'd play better against some teams, mostly in the AL Central. But I mean, I don't know. And now you're trying to pick it up with Arias and Schneemann. I mean, Schneemann's still pretty young, and Arias, I mean, he's just as young. I mean, you're trying to recreate, you're trying to get that defense you lost in Jimenez, and hopefully one of them can pick it up offensively, I guess. Neither one has really shown the offensive side yet, but hopefully that's
Um,
the come. I mean, we haven't really had a slugging second baseman. I mean, since Omar Vizquel, and he even really wasn't much of a slugger himself. He just knew how to get on base.
yeah, he was also known as a glove first player, but the
Yep.
big thing about it is, especially what I'm seeing right now, like from the first week. I don't want to get into like the games themselves, but just the atmosphere around the clubhouse. Like Jimenez, he was always smiling. You could tell he was having a great time, and I think that translated really well. Josh
Yep.
Naylor, he brought the smoke.
Yep. Give
He
him the smoke,
yeah,
dog. He
no,
wanted it.
exactly. He brought the smoke. It made our team much more competitive. I feel like, especially whenever it started to dwindle down later in the year, which that might be an impact. We'll see. Santana, obviously a leader, so that's the first base side of it. Second base, I don't know. The way I see it, Jimenez is 26 years old. He's not old. The worst of the worst was last year at his bat. He's a platinum glover, like
Yeah.
you said. That's a guarantee no matter what. But if his worst bat is like, it's worse than league average, but say, I think it was like an 80 OPS plus. If that's his worst bat and he's still a platinum glover,
Yeah.
it should be worth it to stick around, especially if you're going to spend the money regardless. Like, We signed
Yeah.
Paul Sewald, which I don't hate the signing, like the money for it, anything like that. But like, if I had to choose between Jimenez and Sewald, I'm choosing the bat because we need the bat.
Yeah.
I
Cleveland's always been a glove first team. Always have been. I mean, even when we made the World Series, just man, that was almost 10 years ago now. But we were always, even then, we were still just a glove first team the whole way around. It was just which bat's going to heat up at the right time, and it carried us that far. And I mean, it was the same thing last year, making that deep playoff run, and we were only a couple just offensive hopes, I guess, or fingers crossed moments away from making the World Series last year. And now you lose two of those really big key components in last season. I mean, Naylor hit over 100 RBIs last year. Only him and Ramirez did. Nobody else, I don't think anybody else even scraped 80. Like, you got to replace Naylor's bat and Jimenez fielding. And I don't know. It's going to be hard to recreate. I mean, you sign Carlos Santana. I love Santana. The man's old. I feel like they just brought him in. Definitely veteran presence just to kind of train in Manzardo, which I like that idea. I like it. But I don't know. We have the cap space that we could spend it to get one of those. I don't want to say bigger free agents, but like there's not a reason we couldn't have gotten like Paul Goldschmidt from instead of him signing with the Yankees. Like you could throw him a couple extra bucks over Santana, Goldschmidt's got the bat. Santana, I mean,
he
since
played.
he left Cleveland the second time, he really hasn't produced anywhere,
I mean,
or
he's
at least
played
since he had
solidly.
since his first stint in Cleveland.
He's played solidly for sure everywhere he's gone. It's just like he hasn't been spectacular. Like I'm gonna look here real quick. Last couple of seasons, he's been like a league average bat and still a plus defensive player. He still has that even with his age. He's still a really good defensive player. I think we saw that on opening night. We had a catch in a couple of catches actually that were on the over the railing and stuff, making some plays. But he just we paid him well, I think it was 16 million. We paid him a lot of money to be here, considering the fact that Naylor his arbitration amount ended up being 10.7 mil, I think. Like we paid more for Santana for 1 year than we could have with
Yeah.
Naylor for that last year. But that's something that kind of gets me, especially with that. I don't hate the Santana signing. I don't think he adds a whole lot, especially with the money that we spent. I would have rather, if we had the choice, like I said, with the Paul Sewald thing, save that money and send it, keep Jimenez, who is a guaranteed, he had 4 WAR last year, and his bat was at the worst that it will ever be, most likely. Like,
It
he's
was just a
still,
tad over 200, wasn't it? His batting average.
yeah, no, it was not great, but still, he had 4 WAR. He was still, like, a very productive player on this team. Even though he was the second highest WAR. Quan would have had more if he stayed healthy the whole year, but he still had the second most on the team. And I think that's just a hole that you can't just replace with prospects because we don't even know how they're going to produce. I was watching for the opening day, no one came up. Will Brennan was out there, Angel Martinez, who else we have? We have Petey Halpin in left. I like Halpin, but I don't think he's a top end prospect anywhere. Um,
No.
we had like Will something in third, but Brito, he was playing second. I don't think he's anything too much more than what we currently have. I know the front office likes him, and I'm sure he will be serviceable like a majority of our players are. But serviceable isn't really gonna cut it for a whole season. Obviously, we're trying to clear a path for Travis Bazana, but
Yeah.
we just he's like the best case scenario is I think is that he's a May call up next year. We still have this whole year to go through, and even if he does get called up to second base, absolutely kills it. Guess what? Jimenez could play short
Yeah.
easily. He
Yeah,
played it for the
he was
Venezuelan team.
originally a shortstop.
He got traded over as a shortstop, and then he came up, and I think he was playing short, but Ahmed Rosario couldn't play second, so they had to flip him, even though the much better shortstop was Jimenez. But
Yeah.
no, that's the move that baffled me this offseason. I just can't get it. We signed Shane Bieber, signed John Means. Both of them will be late season additions after their rehab assignments.
If they can come back healthy as they were, I mean, Dude, as long as we're within like a game of the division lead, I think at worst at 5 game below, like if we're not already in the lead, which I really hope we can be, but the rest of the division, AL Central, it's a coin toss between everybody but Chicago, who's going to win it. It basically comes down to who stays healthy.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, man, we have a great rotation. We have a great rotation.
If everyone performs and those two come back, good.
Everybody performs
Okay.
and stays healthy.
But you
And I
have
mean,
the 1 through 4 punch of Bieber, Means, Beebe, or Bybee, Williams, and then you add in anyone else performing. And if nobody else does, you have a Ben Lively in there, and he's like, you know what you're getting out of him at
yeah,
the end of the
you're
day.
getting strikes from him.
Yeah, you're getting
I
your
mean,
innings,
right.
but if nobody else performs there too, which like McKenzie, I'm going to talk about this early. I know we were going to get into games. He came in the other day, was throwing 95 gas, locating it decently well, not perfectly, but he wasn't throwing balls. Like when he wanted it in the zone, he was able to place it in the zone. It had some late life, so it wasn't getting crushed. They had some decent contact, but it was all outs, like nothing that dropped. But either way, he probably should have been the 5th spot in the rotation. I hope he settles out. We can figure out what happened to his arm whenever he was declining in velocity over the year and 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
But either way, he's a big one. I hope becomes our 5th starter because I love McKenzie. And now that Joe's back, do you remember in 2020 when Nolan Jones was sitting on the parking lot, the parking garage, like on the top of it to watch Tristan McKenzie start because it was during COVID?
Yep.
I remember watching the game.
Yep.
It was the home open, his first home game because he played in Boston before. But still, I remember seeing that, and I just think it's such a good addition back. I do know I wanted to talk about this just because it's fun. Nolan Jones, he and Tyler Freeman were pretty like decent friends because they played in the minors together, and I think it was Nolan Jones on the podcast with Chris Rose. He was talking about it, and he goes, "Yeah, no, I was talking to Tyler Freeman. And I'm like, I think I'm about to get traded." Tyler Freeman responds, "I think I'm getting traded." And then they kind of put together the pieces and realized they were getting traded for each other, and it's a whole thing. But
I mean, that was one trade that I just don't know if that was really a great move, because I thought out of like all the people that we could, because Freeman was another utility infielder, that we kind of needed.
and he could play outfield.
And yeah,
Yeah.
he could literally play anywhere. Like I like Nolan Jones. He's been doing really well in Colorado the last couple of years since we traded him. Or did we trade him or release him?
We
I think
traded
we
him.
traded him.
We got Brito for him, funnily enough.
That's right. Well, I mean, I just I just wasn't a big fan of that trade because if you look at the end of last season, our outfield was starting to get together. They were heating up. John Kenzie Noel was looking really promising. And then you traded for another outfielder, which I get it, but Freeman could have also been in the mix there at second base. And
I
I think, has a better bat than Schneeman and, oh, I'm blanking on the last one.
Arias.
Arias, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But
I do think he was Jones is meant to replace Brennan. That was the idea, and then Noel and Jones are the platoon. I
okay.
think that Jones, if he is going to play, and if we trade for him for the reason, he should be an everyday player. I just don't think Noel is going to. I think the league's going to have their number on him. We saw it with Bobby Bradley. We saw it eventually with Franmil Reyes, and I love Franmil. We saw it with all these players. They have that big strike zone. They are, especially Noel. He sells out for power big time. And I think, he just gets the number on him. I mean, a lot of strikeouts, just not going to be productive. I don't know. I think the power is nice to have. It's got to be supplemental, though. It's got to be additive to something. Like, we can't have a Joey Gallo that is much worse at fielding. He has a cannon, but worse at fielding, though. That's also not as good as Joey Gallo. So, Joey Gallo in his prime, I should say. Not like Yankees Joey Gallo. I mean, like, Texas Rangers, like, for 2 years. He played well. Either way.
I wish though we could bring back the GOAT though. We got to bring back Grady Sizemore. There's get him out of Chicago. He's not a manager. Come back. Come back to Cleveland, dude.
Grady
Miss it.
Sizemore to lace up the straps. Hey, you want some old names? We got Tyler Naquin in the farm somewhere. No idea what
Dude,
he's doing, but I know he got signed in as a pitcher.
that was when I read that. That was the craziest thing I've read because I was like, dude, I'll take you back in the outfield because I thought he was a dog. I love Naquin. I was so sad when we let him go or down to Cincinnati, especially to Cincinnati. Why do we trade all these young outfielders to Cincinnati?
But we traded
Like that.
Benson.
Whoa. Wait a hot second here. Power thought here, or maybe just like a stoner thought, whatever. But Tito just signed the coach down in Cincinnati, right?
Uh, Big
Oh,
coach.
oh, you see where I'm putting this? We've traded all of these younger dudes down to Cincinnati while Tito was still here. Tito was plotting this the whole time.
And
He
Cincinnati
was
doesn't even
plotting.
win the NL Central. Finishes behind the Brewers and the Cubs.
He was Tito was plotting. He was plotting.
uh, I don't know. I will say, after Tito's last year, I do think, especially with these small market teams, Trevor Plouffe was talking about it on his show. Small market teams have a formula. We just straight up do. Have to play good defense. Have to be for the splits. All that. The Tampa Bay Rays overhyping the splits. That's how they got to a World Series with Randy Arozarena and their bullpen full of arms. Not a single person on the same slot. But just defense, going by the numbers, staying in the farm system. That's the strategy. That's how you win games as a smaller market team. And I think Tito, he just became a older. He came a bit too old for that. Like too much of the splits oriented stuff and a lot. Like he still was good with it, obviously, but I feel like he wasn't as hardcore, which I don't know if it's necessary. I kind of dislike some of that, especially with some of the open decisions and when to go to them and stuff like that. But either way, like I think that was a big change. And last year, I mean, seemed to prove dividends. We made the ALCS. Obviously, some decisions in the playoffs that I disagreed with, I know, but we got there because of those. But
Yeah, dude, no, that is another point that I think is going to kill us this year is Vogue's pitching strategy. Since even last year, I don't get it. How do you have a pitcher? Even like he did it several times last year where I think it was the one I remember most was Bybee, and he was dealing. I think it was only one run off two hits. I
the
think we were up 5-1 or something,
in the
and he
CS,
didn't let Bybee finish the inning.
oh
He took him out
today,
with two out.
yep,
No, it
or
wasn't
this
today. It
year.
was
I mean,
sometime
this
last
year. Oh, last
He
year.
did it
Okay.
earlier this year too.
Yeah, he did do it this
He's
year.
notorious for taking starting
And
pitchers out with two outs.
so this year,
And they're not in jams. And it's like, dude, let him finish. So you don't have that reliever warm all the way up, then come out, warm all the way up, throw two pitches and then go sit down. Like it doesn't make sense. It's not like I think that's part of the reason why our bullpen kind of died in the playoffs against the Yankees. Like, and even they struggled against Detroit. Like, that's why. Like, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of more effort put on them for no reason. Like, let your starters finish the inning. There's a reason. There's a start. They are the starter. Like, they got the gas in the tank. Like, it's not like you're taking them out with 110 pitches or anything like that. Like, it's usually sub 90, and there's two outs left or two outs in the inning. Let them finish.
so
I don't get it.
my biggest thing on this all, it's the fact that we like you look at the splits and stuff like that, and there's the whole argument of, oh, you go through the batting order 3 times, something like that, and the numbers go up. You still have to put your best pitchers in positions to succeed. I think third time through the order, you have your ace pitcher out there.
Yeah.
I still think he's better than obviously our bullpen's loaded, but like he's still better than a lot of the options you can go to. So I do have from this year. Bobby was out there, and we were up 5-0, not even close to competitive at this point. And he got 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. He got Isabel out, and India out. Then Witt walked. Was it a good at bat? 6-pitch at bat. No, 2 fouls for the strikes. But either way, 6-pitch at bat. One of them was non-competitive, but everything else was in the zone. He was just trying to get that 3rd strike on the non-competitive one. He walked him. Best player in the Central probably, maybe outside of Jose. But like 1A and 1B is Jose and Bobby Witt, and it's not close. So he walked him, and he pulled him. You could tell, like you saw the emotion on his face as he's walking off the field. He was upset about it, and I don't blame him. He was at, let me get the pitch count right here. He was at 84 pitches, which it's not nothing, but it's not enough where you like start putting the panic button on. You're up 5-0, and there's a runner on first, and he's been cruising. That was his 2nd walk of the day, and he allowed 2 hits throughout the other innings, the rest of the innings. Yeah. He was cruising, 84 pitches, so still enough. Like he has gas in the tank. He was pitching with a vengeance. I feel like because. Okay. But I'm going to get into something in a second. He was pitching with a vengeance. But then what we did was we went we went to Tim Herron for 1 out. He hit the first batter he saw. But then he got the out. And then we go straight to Joey Quintillo. What's the point of having Herron in there? What if we need him later in the game? Like, I don't mind going to Quintillo. Genuinely, it didn't go well for him. I don't mind going to him. That was not the issue I had. It was the fact that we had this extra step in there for no reason. And we could have had our best pitcher playing. And we pulled him. We took him out whenever we didn't need to. I know it's early in the season. He's upset by it. You can get a feeling for your pitchers. You got to trust your best guys. You're not going to win if you don't trust your best guys. Simple as that. Like, if we are going to pull him there when he wants the pitch, we should be putting Jose Ramirez at second base. Right now. Okay. Yeah. I said it. His arm, 28th percentile out of all third basemen. He has a well below average arm. His range, really good still. Really good range. Bad arm. You know, we do have right now our second baseman, Gabriel Arias, 98th percentile arm or range. Flip him. I think it benefits the entire offense. Or defense, I mean. I don't know. That's a crazy take. That's the wild one. I'm allowed one. I'm allowed one per show. That's my wild one. I'm going to say it next week, too.
No, say that again if you want to continue this show.
Jose can do whatever he wants. He's Jose. He took a discount. He can do whatever he wants. Realistically, though, I'm just saying, if you're not going to trust your best players to pitch, then why are you letting them choose what position they play? That's the logic. And that's why I'm saying let them pitch. That's what I'm trying to get at there. I'm not trying to say Jose Ramirez shouldn't be playing third. But
I was trying to say, the way that you're talking here, we're not gonna have this show very long if you're spitting that.
Okay, something else we should get into though. So we're talking about the pitching decisions, and I want him to keep our best pitchers in. But then he keeps our bad pitchers in when they're struggling during games that could be competitive. So, first game against the Padres, I was watching it at Buffalo Wild Wings. You know. And Ortiz is in. Ortiz, not huge on it. We need pitchers, whatever. But still, I'm not huge on him. I don't see why he has a starting rotation spot. He did not have control. His stuff wasn't amazing. He was getting pretty hard hit. Regardless, he gave up 9 hits, 4 walks, and 7 earned runs in 4.2 innings. Here's the thing that is the question mark, though. So he got through the So by the end of the second, he got through, which you got to get into pitch innings at this point. He got through the second with four runs given up. He has to keep on pitching because he's so low on the pitch count. You don't have guys to just get those outs. He cruises with 4 allowed through the 4th inning, where he was getting shelled but we got out of it barely. We barely got out of it. And then in the bottom of the fifth, we keep him in, and then Machado singles to start off the inning. Well, that's great. We got bailed out by San Diego having questionable base running. We have some questionable base running on one of these nights. But he lined into a double play. Another missile. Cronenworth walked. Bogarts reached on a single. Gavin Sheets doubled. Hayward doubled. Then we pulled him. After already having 4 runs down. And that made him go down to 7. He was down 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. He made it through 4. He somehow made it through 4 innings. That's, I think, all we can ask from him for giving up 4 innings by the end of 2. You get him through that. He's still getting shelled, kind of. Like, he's limping. He's on a limp right now. And we just left him out there to die. We just left him out. We were like, no, I see you limping. And instead of offering you a crutch and taking you home, I'm going to let you keep limping. And eventually, he got hit by a truck. It's just how simple it went. It's like, we can't be doing this. I don't understand. Once we got that second out, he got shelled again. He gave up that walk. You pull him. It's questionable calling on the wrong people. Like, why are you pulling our ace out early, but you're leaving Ortiz in to keep on going? Like, it would have been 4-2? It would have been 4-2 at that point, whenever we pulled him.
Yeah.
Would have been a decent spot to, reevaluate. You don't have to put in your best pitchers, but you put in guys who can get outs. Ortiz is not one of them. I hope he proves me wrong. I just don't see it.
Agreed.
But
he had a decent season in Pittsburgh last year.
That's actually... Hold on. I gotta pull some stuff up.
Oh, all right.
His expected stats were nowhere close to it. So that his batted ball data is saying he wasn't as good as it said. At all. So his FIP was a 4.25. His ERA minus was 79, which is pretty solid. His FIP minus, though, was a 104, meaning that he barely... no, he wasn't it. I had xERA. There it is. xERA last year, 4.31. His actual ERA, 3.32. Meaning an entire run of ERA difference between what the batted ball data said he should have and what he actually had. Like, he not even like... He has good stuff. He has really good stuff. He cannot piece it together. And he's still getting hit hard. It's just... I'm not here for it. He had an awful year before that, expected. The year before that, 2023, 6.86 xERA. He didn't figure it out last year. He got lucky. And this is something we're notorious for. We find our guys. I think we traded Savale near the peak of what he was at. We got Manzardo, which... Thank you for that, Tampa. We finally got one on you. You guys win a couple trades on us with that Yandy Diaz nonsense. We got one back.
Finally.
Yeah. Tampa is...
Manzardo is the GOAT, bro.
Manzardo, Mania. I'm dressing up as Manzardo for Halloween. But... No, I am...
Did Smash Brothers.
No, we didn't. I have the cards right there, actually.
I do too. They're sitting right over in that drawer.
Oh, that's fun.
Look, you want to go out? Give me a second. This dog.
Yeah, let your doggy out.
The GOAT.
Okay. You gotta be repping it.
And the myth, the legend. Oh.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, something else we can go into really quick. Our starting pitching. So we had game 1, a little bit of a hiccup. Tanner. Oh, this is the tangent I wanted to go on. Bobby tweeted. He said he loves Chipotle. And you know what I think happened in Kansas City? I think they gave him food poisoning through the Chipotle. They laced it. That's why he wasn't available to pitch game 1.
That Chipotle knew who he was and laced it.
Who wouldn't? That's my ace. That's my king. No,
King,
but
right.
I'm just saying, I think Kansas City, they might have been like, hey, we have opening day, we have a shot at winning this one, let's lace their starting pitcher's food. That's all.
Erase it. You make it sound so bad, dude. It was food poisoning, not actual poison, dude.
No, yeah, it was food poisoning. But we ended up winning that game. It was in extras though because somebody ended up giving up. Luckily it was only 1 run, but in the bottom of the 9th there, with a save opportunity. This happened for Classe. This happened after, if you remember, the 8th inning. Somebody gave up. We got really, really lucky. The Royals are really, really bad at base running.
Oh, dude, that opening day, the Royals, they choked that away.
Oh my
man.
goodness, they should have won that game. Respectfully.
Third, nobody out, and you ran yourself out of it.
Double play for it. I mean, we had this similar-ish situation with Arias early in the game against. Is that the Padres? Or is that the last Royals game? Either way.
No, that was the Royals game.
Yeah, they were. No, it was Padres because it was Manny Machado that he hugged. But, okay, you have 0 outs, first and second. I have 1 rule in baseball. 1. Never get the first or last out at third. Little League rule. Because a single scores the run at second. It's just that simple. Anything in play scores it. So, if it was Arias that decided, I'm going to steal third, you gotta teach him not to. You gotta tell him, no, you're not doing this. Dude, if it was a managerial decision to send them, I might have another hot take.
Dude, it's like they didn't. We were there in person. That was, man, was it 2018, 2019? We were up there at the game against the Red Sox where Devers went crazy, and Francisco Lindor stole third base in extra innings.
It was 1 out. So it technically made sense against that Little League rule. It's the only time that it's acceptable to attempt it, but I also don't think it's acceptable. So
you had Jose up to bat.
Yeah, he had the rest of, and that's when we had a lineup. No disrespect to our current team, but I mean, see the last couple of games, these last 3 Padre games, we scored 4 total runs in 3 games, right? It was a 5-2 loss, 7-0 loss, 7-2 loss.
Even in the games that we've won against Kansas City, we've been giving up a lot of runs.
I don't know. I think
a lot of runs.
The pitching. So the Royals are a good team. They're good. I think we shouldn't discredit them.
Bums.
If it was the Twins, I would agree. If it was the Twins, I'd agree right there.
No, you take Salvador Perez and Bobby Witt off the Royals, and the Royals look like the White Sox from last year.
Their pitching staff is decent. They have Vinny Pasquantino. Did anyone else that was decent?
I keep calling Vinny Pasquantino. I keep calling him Vinny Pascano, the old reliever for the Cards.
No, I know you're talking about. They have Hunter Renfroe. I didn't even realize. Jonathan India as well, but that's all they have. Yeah, he's playing for the Royals right now. But no. But regardless, yeah, our pitching. It was kind of to be expected. Our starters did go for the first 3 games. We allowed 4 total, 2 total against the Royals. That was our 1, 2, 3 of going Lively to Williams to Bybee. So those 3, Williams, this is his year. He's gonna shove. Ortiz, get him out of the starting rotation. I'm okay with him being a long innings reliever. That's fine. We need somebody innings, and if he needs to, I just don't want him starting.
I think him and Lively should have flipped spots in the rotation. Isn't Lively our 4?
He's our 3. Lively is our 3, Williams is our 2, and Bybee is supposed to be our 1, but Bybee and Lively flipped, obviously, for the stomach flip.
The Kansas City poisoning.
The poisoning of 25.
The blatant attack against our starting pitcher.
This is going to be a controversy in a couple of years. I call it. I'm going to call it. Just like the Astros.
That they purposely gave food poisoning to Tanner Bybee.
They gave a memo out to every Chipotle in the greater Kansas City area. Look out for this man. Oh my goodness. But
where are you, Missouri?
Well, that might be controversial. I'm not sure. I don't know about the Kansas Missouri rivalry, but that might have been the most controversial I've ever said.
What?
We're on to
We're
you,
coming after
Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah, talking about Kansas City. I like it, but all right,
Stay out of Kansas City.
let's get into our
They got
next
too many
thing.
water fountains. Makes me uncomfortable.
Next thing I want to get into our bullpen. So I do think
Timeout. Timeout.
yeah.
Timeout. Another one of the offseason moves that blows my mind. Why did you let Eli Morgan go?
Was it a trade?
Why?
Oh yeah, this is a trade
No,
for. Oh,
no, we didn't get anything. We
was it a
we
cash one?
released him and he signed with Chicago. It was the same thing with oh my
Oh
gosh, who
yeah,
was the
he's with
other
the
pitcher we signed
Cubs.
last season?
Here, I'll look
Yeah,
because I
like
liked Morgan. Well,
that was
he
dumb.
exchanged
That
for
was
it
dumb.
was a minor league prospect, but like I don't think he's
We
touted as
there was a
anything.
trade.
Yeah, he was, but I don't think he's touted in any way. Let me look him up.
No, that was dumb.
No, I
That
agree.
was
I like Morgan. Um,
because now you have uh Cantillo. That's how you say his name, right? Cantillo.
Tito, I think.
Cantillo. All right. But anyway, you got him filling in Eli Morgan's spot, who
Yep,
had a sub 1.5 ERA last year.
yep. They're
And
trying to
he
sell
was the
high.
only one out of our bullpen too that actually looked competent against the Yankees.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you just let him go
I will
for a
say,
prospect.
Gavin
We have plenty of
Williams.
prospects.
No, It's not even like a top prospect anymore. It was like a minor league depth piece almost. It felt like it at least. I hope he proves me wrong, and I hope he does some crazy stuff. I have him right here. It's a center fielder and right fielding prospect. He's going to turn 21 this season. His minor league stats
Of course.
in
Yes.
A ball last year played pretty well in A ball. That doesn't mean anything yet, but like he played decent. My big thing, so we let go of Eli Morgan and Nick Sandlin. I'm biased. I like Nick Sandlin a lot, but still,
I did not.
I love Nick Sandlin.
I did not. I like Eli Morgan. That
No,
hair,
I like both.
fabulous. His
I like
pitching
both.
last year finally came around and he was good. And you said, adios. Like, what?
I think both were fine. It's just the Morgan one. We were trying to. I feel like trade. This is how we always go. Small league team. Buy low, sell high. It's the goal for everything. And minor leaguers, I feel, are just so futile. Maybe that's what they're like thinking there. It's like why some people were trying to get us to trade away Classic after his little meltdown. They're like, historic season. It's a one-off. Trade him out. Get him out of town now while his value is so high. And it's just we need the bullpen. But I liked Morgan. I think they're important pieces. Seawald, I think, can replace part of that. He is a good signing, I do think, and
I
he
agree.
will be pretty solid. Junis, he might be the underrated pickup here. Genuinely, I think we're undervaluing him a little bit. Junis,
I liked it. I like that pickup.
no, I like Junis too, but like it's moves that I don't know. Like, why did we have to give up Morgan in the first place to then pick up a new guy from out of town? That's probably like
It's
at best the same player. At best, Seawald might be a little bit better, like longevity wise, but like with Junis and Junis, I think he can make spot starts. I'm not sure about that, but I think he can do some length.
and he was a starter. That's why I was
Who
surprised to
wasn't?
see that he pitched yesterday?
Hunter Gaddis
Out of
was
the
a
bullpen.
starter.
Yeah, Gaddis did not look good. But
Oh, you mean
no,
they're
I
in
saw
his Seattle opener?
yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
But I don't know. I hope what we need to do now to build some momentum to come back home next Tuesday, you have to sweep Los Angeles. You have to sweep the Angels.
What? It's a
Like,
3-game, right?
yes, I believe it
Should
starts
be. Yeah, it's a three
tomorrow.
game. Oh, we're just doing. Okay, our first not 3-game series is against the Twins, and it's a 4-game from the 28th of April to the 1st of May. Oh, are they pretty much all 3 games? What the heck? Anything that's not divisional is a 3-game series. I didn't realize the schedule was built like this. Okay.
Hmm. Well,
So,
except that Reds series, isn't that still? It's like two game series. For some reason, that's how we
or
always play
what?
the Reds.
Oh yeah, the interdivision. Well, we have a 3-game series against the Reds later this year.
Oh, thank goodness
I
we
think
got
it's with
sweep.
the restructure.
Okay, good.
There's 2 3-game series that's against the Reds, but yeah, I don't know.
Unpopular opinion: get rid of Minnesota in the AL Central and add in the Cincinnati Reds. They need to
I,
restructure. They need to restructure the divisions. It
if they
doesn't make
add
sense.
an expansion, I think they will. Like they'll do the NFL, like how it's formatted with 4 divisions within a conference.
Yeah,
But that's if they add 2 teams. I don't know if they will though, because like Vegas was supposed to be one, and now they just took a team.
yeah. They just took
But
Oakland. I would not be surprised if Oakland's going to be the new like almost like a Cleveland Browns situation where they lose their team, but they'll get their team back. I feel like because I mean,
mm,
you have a good fan base in Oakland. It's just the fact your team just sucked.
I mean they weren't
Like
really showing out regardless. But it's also I think it comes down partially to like the fans for to some degree. The fact that they could put out a awful product, they're getting a very very similar amount of fans as they would if they put out a good product. And like thinking about it from a business perspective, you're gonna try to win so you get more fans, but you're not gonna spend money to try to win. You know what I mean? Like it.
we
Playing
root
devil's
for Cleveland.
advocate,
We know
we know about not spending money. No, but
exactly.
so I'm gonna look ahead a little bit. Next 3-game series, we have the Angels. It's gonna be Williams pitching our first game against Soriano. Soriano had that shutout against the White Sox, but I feel like you could shut out the White Sox right now.
I probably could.
Ivy versus Kochanowicz.
Dude, I outside of Trout and Rendon, I don't think I can name you a single player off the
Joe
Los
Adell.
Angeles Angels. Who?
Joe Adell.
Did you say Chuck? Did you say Chuck Liddell?
No,
I
Joe
don't think he
Adell.
plays.
Joe Adell. Chuck
Oh,
Odell. No,
I'm like
no.
Chuck Liddell's a fighter.
But yeah, so we got 3-game series against the Angels, 3-game series against the White Sox. That 3rd game against the White Sox, we will either be recording this during it or before it. So that one will be a little bit worried. But that'd be another Williams game. We'll have the whole rotation go through because we'll have 5 games. We'll see each person go one to talk about next week. Alright, so we're starting to wrap things down. Did want to get into that's something we have to talk about, our base running. So is it the players or is it the manager? Like, are we sending runners or are the players like, I can steal this bag on Salvador Perez even though I'm not above average speed? I'm gonna run.
Even yeah, against the second best catcher of all time.
Whoa. Joe Mauer, Buster Posey,
All right, maybe a
Yadier
couple.
Molina.
I was looking. Yadier was number
Yeah,
one.
no.
I'm thinking
Defensively.
defense.
Defensive, yeah, no. And
Yadier.
Salvador
Yeah.
Perez, his only knock was pitch framing. And they were talking about it on the broadcast actually. Him improving his pitch framing so much. He went from like whenever they first started tracking the stats from like dead last, almost second to last, like middle of the pack, 16th, 15th, and that's insane for a was he 35 now?
Homie's like 40.
No, I think he's
Yes.
younger than you think. He is younger than you think because I looked it up and I was like, wow, he's younger than I thought. He's 34. You figure during those World Series teams in the mid 2010s, he was like 23. He was young. He was a stud. But
Homie is 34. Bro, no, it explains why he's a catcher then. He looks
okay,
older than dirt.
there might be something about this. Now, I'm not gonna be that guy, but you know the bench warmers.
Yeah. Are you saying
I'm just saying. I am 12. I don't know.
he flipped Rob Manfred a 20 and said, "Hey man, Knock 10 years off my birth certificate, please, if you would.
I mean, he looks like an old man, that's for sure. He's a grown man, that's for damn sure. But
I remember watching Salvador Perez beat up on us, like, even before the Royals World Series runs. Like, when we were in elementary school.
Yep. No,
Like, that's why I feel like he's 40, because that was, 20 years ago now. Like,
feels like it.
it's ridiculous.
He
I actually think he's been in the league roughly 20.
he came up in 2011.
2011. So
2012 was his first, like, mostly full season.
So it was only his sophomore year when they went to the World Series.
2014 is when they won. That was his second full year, was 2014. Like, he was getting every day at bats and everything, because he had half the season in 2012, like 40 games in 2011, 136 in 2013, 150 in 2014, 142 in 2015. But he was still super young during that time. That was the insane part. I don't know. Salvador Perez is just. I wish we had
retired. Just go away.
We have Yan Gomes, Salvador Perez. We could have Salvador Perez behind the plate during those runs. We had Sandy Leone, and we could have Salvador Perez.
No. There will be no mentions of Sandy Leone on this.
Hey, he did his job. He did what he had to do.
No, he was awful. He was so bad. I'm convinced I could have put my brother, who is 14, on the field instead of Sandy Leone, and he would have done a better job.
Kidding.
Like,
yeah. No, I get it.
Leone was garbage. That was not what we should have done. Just saying his name just lights a fire in me. I
brought back
did not
memories
at all.
So we could talk about the catcher position a little bit. Hedges, he's a World Series winner, and he's a clubhouse guy. He's not meant to start.
World Series winner. Get out of
Hey,
here.
he won a World Series. Hey, guess what?
He traded twice that season.
Guess what?
Baby back ring, dude. Are you kidding me?
He won a World Series. Guess what they didn't do the next year? The Rangers.
What that manager always has done after he's won the World Series, not make the playoffs.
Hey, you know what we did without Austin Hedges? We had an awful record. We did awful that year.
We missed the playoffs the year that the Rangers won the World Series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's right. You know why? You know why?
Dude, you say that it's no. Shut up.
In 2023, we went 76 and 86. 2024 with Austin Hedges, we went 92 and 69. One minus game because
around him that year though.
Around him?
Yeah, like the rest of the team.
I'm saying they played better because we had a World Series winning clubhouse catcher in Austin Hedges.
Dude, I don't know if this is unpopular or not, but Hedges as a person, fantastic, dude. The picture of him last year
with
the assless chaps, that was great. But I don't like him.
He's not meant to start ever. He's meant to be he's the pitcher guy. And
yes,
he is
a
important.
Pitcher guy.
He is important for that, but
he can't hit the ball. I know he had a home run the other night in San Diego. He can't hit. I guarantee you won't hit another home run until your birthday.
Hey, I do want to say something.
That is to say the rest of the season, since your birthday's in December.
Hey, we scored like 4 runs against the Padres.
In 3 games. And how many did we let up? What was that, 19?
14 and then 5, yeah. Austin Hedges, he had 1 game against the Padres. He scored 1 of our runs. Out of our 3-game series. So I'm saying he could have scored 2 more runs for us that series. He would have scored us 3 out of our 4 runs if he would have played all 3 games.
Dude,
that's the stats. That's the stats. He would have hit a home run every single game against the Padres.
Every game, dude.
He would have hit 1 every game.
I would bet you the next time he's in, I guarantee he won't even get a hit. Like, that's how Hedges works. He'll get 2 hits a week, if that, out of his, 12 at-bats he'll get.
You're just disrespecting him.
No, dude, you know who I wish the Guards still had that they never should have gotten rid of in the first place was Yan Gomes after we made the World Series. Because he was an all-star that year. He was actually like one of the few catchers that I can remember hitting above 200 for Cleveland. Like, and you let him go to where'd he go? The Nationals, and then they went and won World Series. Like, that was frustrating. I wish we could have kept Yan Gomes. He was a dog.
You want to see
Isn't he in Chicago now?
a pitcher that batted above 200 last season? Bo Naylor, 201 batting average.
Got a Bo Naylor's literally no better.
No, Bo Naylor. He's young. He's a young guy. He is 25. He just turned 25. And
Happy birthday.
He's a good catcher defensively. He'll be fine. And he's actually having good at bats this year. That's something I wanted to talk about. He's having good at bats. I don't think the results will ever show fully, but he is contributing in driving up pitch counts. He's contributing in making a pitcher work. Getting them a little frustrated. He'll provide a home run here and there. I like Bo Naylor. He was one of our guys with the Nolan Jones, with the Tristan McKenzie, that coming up in that same grouping, kind of. He was one of our top prospects for a minute.
It was like,
I like
3 years our top prospect.
Yeah. No, I remember. And Daniel Espino, which, please, I want him to come back and dominate. When did he get hurt? When is he going to be back? I know he was out for a while. Daniel. Yes.
He's still on the 25 IL or
No,
something.
he's on the long-term injury list. But that's because was it another UCL?
You know who's going to come back and completely save this season?
Tyler Naquin.
I will die on this hill. No, not Naquin. Mr. Fry Daddy himself, David Fry. That's who saves our season right there.
I hope so. I will say something. Listening to Trevor Plouffe, he talked about it, and I agree with it a lot. Something that happened with us last year was we didn't have like the pop out stats for individuals. A lot of them, like you had your Steven Kwan, you had your Jose Ramirez, who's always going to perform throughout the entire season. That's expected. But then there was that, like every series, it seemed like there was one guy who kind of stepped up, drove in the runs, had those big hits, won you that series, and then a different guy would step up like every series like that. So like that's why none of them had that massive like stretch of it. But you'd win games just by having that. And then you had the bullpen come in, close it down when you get that 1-run lead. But we'll have to see. This is getting kind of long, so we are gonna have to end it up. But for next week, do you want to do this while we're watching the game, or do you want to like watch the game and then we can like just live stream after that?
Honestly, I got a radio right here. I can just go. Boom.
Did you know? Fun thing. I'm not sure if you use the MLB TV app to get it. If you got the subscription, it's like $100, I think. You can switch the audio broadcast to Hamilton.
Yes, I heard it.
Like without having to sync it up and do all that nonsense. So
it's beautiful.
The way everyone should do it, but
honestly, Tom Hamilton, voice of an angel.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I love seeing it. Going through the YouTube, like the MLB page, they post a lot of the games and stuff. I'm pretty sure every game, it might not be every game, but a vast majority of them. Yeah, but they do Tom Hamilton's voice for it. Mm-hmm. Like, because they did that for the playoff game against the Yankees, and it was just... No, I watched Game 5 against the Tigers, they did it. But, like, just hearing that, it was just so good.
Wait, Game 5 against the Tigers? Dog, we were in Cleveland for that.
No, the recap on the MLB.
I was gonna say, I'm like, dude, we were there.
We were. That was a good time. Hey, if I get one comment that says, "Let's make this work," I will personally live stream the playoffs in a bar in downtown Cleveland on this channel. We will talk.
It's not just you. If you're gonna be there.
Yeah, no, I know you're gonna be there too, but I'm gonna be the one with my phone out. We'll do everything like that. We will get the setup done with our one subscriber. No, but we do got to get going. This was the Tall Short Take. My name is Dylan.
Oh, am I supposed to say my name now? I'm Riley.
First episode jitters. But we'll be back next week. Thank you for watching.